Chasing nothing but a bag. Hoes and legs. I'm chasing bad. Worry about a whole man. I remember being broke. Not a top on a whip off. Pull up and I hit her, then I dip off. It ain't nothing I'm about to trip out. You want some love, I want a bag. It's something about being broke that make me mad. Something about that getting hurt made me strong. It's something about being out that put me on. Bitch called me for my money long. Got a crib in a car, and I pay my own bills. Bitch, I'm grown. I'm hustling. That's why I ain't picking up the phone. You say you like nice things, I like nice things too. I pray for elevation, baby. God came through. I'm focused on my purpose. Ain't no way to chase you. You think I'm tripping about that hoe? You can have that whole dog. Couple goals for me to see my bank account full. Couple goals for me to see my kids eat steak. My heart been through a lot. Now this bitch don't break. You think I'm stunning you? I told you, baby, chasing nothing but a bag. Hoes and legs. I'm chasing bad. Worry about a whole hand. Don't be trying to hop up on my road, stay the same now. I was interested back then, but I ain't now. How they came down, things ain't what they once was. You thought you was one up, now you see me turned up. 9 to 5, shouted, having dreams of a bag. Waiting my turn, promise I ain't getting mad. Slow beat for show, used to wish it came fast. Now I'm in this bitch and I'm showing naked ass. Tables turn for real, I hit the city and they speaking. Before I had Rex sweater, pretty girls was peeping. It's a little different, she ain't waving, now she freaking. She be trying to see me out weekend. Ay, pull up looking good, niggas asking what the whip costs. Bad bitches trying to flag me down when I peel off. Tell them all back then they want me, now they all on me. But a lot of shit didn't change since then, cause I chasing nothing but a bag. Hoes and legs, I'm chasing bad. Worry about a whole man.
Try to do this one without no smoke. No something. You can try to do this live without no smoke. You know, that motherfucking blunt sitting there waiting on me when I get done with this motherfucker. Man, good morning, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning, man. If you woke today, you're winning, man. I'm gonna tell y'all something, a little something I heard, man. He said, uh, let me make sure I say it right before I get into it. He said, I had to be happy with having nothing. Yeah, I had to be happy with having nothing before God made me happy with having something. He said that I had to be happy with having nothing before God blessed me to be happy with having something, man. Let that sink in, man. We gonna get into this content, man. I got 2 stories, man. First, we gonna get into this. You know we gonna get into Trump later and all that shit. But we got the U.S. destroyer attack. You know they've been trying to slide through the Hormuz. You know, and then people is not going. So we're gonna go into that, and then we're gonna go into Donald Trump sending 500,000 SBA loans for PPP. So all you stupid, dumb people who went thought y'all was roaching on 20 grand and all that shit, man, them people about to come for y'all. Now, we know we heard this probably. We heard it. Nah, nigga, this shit on paperwork now. Y'all, nigga, they slid that shit to the treasuries, to the, what's the name, to the treasuries, stretched them 500 people. So just, it's a slowly process. See, a lot of people don't even know that Trump built a board for them PPP loans. He built a whole little thing for them to investigate that shit, dog. And put money into it and everything, nigga. So all you niggas that's running around and talking and y'all roached around instead of doing what you was supposed to do when you was supposed to do, and people come pick your ass up, nigga. Nah, I don't wish nothing jail on nobody, but y'all stupid, fool. People don't give shit away for
Deep
free.
inside the Truxtun and Mason, the Aegis combat systems went to work.
Yeah.
The destroyers engaged the...
People don't give shit away for free, dog. Y'all got to understand that shit. Like, people don't give shit away for free. Not hundreds and thousands of dollars, bro. What's wrong with you people? Y'all gotta be fucking stupid. Yeah, it felt good when y'all was spending that shit going on them vacations and all that stupid ass shit. Yeah, we gonna get into that after this, though. Want y'all to watch this. This is an AI simulated video. Make sure y'all go subscribe to AI Telly. I don't want no money out this shit. I'm just damn. Oh, there we go. There we go. Oh, here we go. Watch this, y'all.
Are U.S. Navy destroyers safe from an onslaught of Iranian anti-ship missiles and mosquito boats? Well, this is how the Iranian attack works. The attack opens with a classic swarm tactic. Dozens of small, lightning-fast speedboats converging on the U.S. Navy warship from all directions. The second stage escalates the threat with a coordinated barrage of anti-ship missiles and explosive drones. The core of this tactic is oversaturation. By throwing an overwhelming number of targets at the ship simultaneously, the goal is to overload the destroyer's defense systems in hopes that they will eventually fail to intercept every single threat.
Y'all gotta understand, them ships be intercepting signals, man. That's one of they hidden where they can jam up sensors and shit so they can't even know they coming through and shit. But if it's so many things that it's got a sensor, you can jam up the ship system. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Iran did to this ship.
So how does a U.S. Navy destroyer actually counter these complex attacks? To handle the surface swarm, the Navy would deploy ship-based MH-60 Seahawk helicopters or call in allied Apache gunships to hunt down and neutralize the small boat fleet long before it gets within striking range. During Project Freedom Operation, two Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyers, the USS Truxtun and the USS Mason, transited the strait to escort U.S.-flagged merchant ships. In response to the U.S. presence in the blockaded waterway, Iranian forces launched an intense, sustained assault on the naval convoy.
Good morning to
But how did this attack happen? The moment the USS Truxtun and USS Mason entered the kill zone, the horizon lit up. Iran didn't just probe the American defenses, they unleashed a synchronized, multi-domain barrage designed to completely overwhelm the destroyers and the merchant ships they were escorting. First came the swarm. The surface of the water churned as Iran's infamous mosquito fleet closed in. Dozens of heavily armed, fast attack boats aggressively maneuvered to distract, harass, and split the attention of the American crews. Simultaneously, the airspace above the strait filled with incoming threats. Unmanned aerial vehicles saturated the sky, acting as the vanguard for the heavy hitters. But that's not it. It also fired a volley of anti-ship cruise and ballistic missiles fired from the Iranian coastline close to the Iranian Strait of Hormuz, locking onto the convoy. This was an Iranian textbook saturation attack strategy. Throw enough threats from enough directions all at once and hope something slips through the net. But how did the U.S. Navy fought back against these attacks? Deep inside the Truxtun and Mason, the Aegis combat systems went to work. The destroyers engaged the incoming missiles and drones with SM-2 missiles fired from the vertical launchers. These anti-air defense missiles will look on to the incoming P-15 anti-ship missile and hunt down and often use hit-to-kill technology to...
And that shit's so dope right there. That's some of the dopest shit ever, dog. That's dope as hell, man.
Destroying the target with kinetic energy rather than explosives. But with the destroyers weren't fighting alone. Providing close air support, U.S. Army AH-64 Apaches and Navy MH-60 Seahawks dropped in to neutralize the surface threat. Acting as the fleet's eyes and teeth, the helicopters turned their chain guns and Hellfire missiles onto the swarming mosquito fleet. The moment the Iranian boats broke formation and charged the commercial ships, the helicopters dropped in. The Apache and Seahawk crews used their advanced electro-optical and infrared sensor suites to cut through the chaos, locking onto the heat signatures of the erratic speedboats darting across the water. Operating comfortably out of range of the speedboats' light weapons, the helicopters opened up. It was a clinical application of overwhelming firepower. The crews utilized a deadly combination of a GM-114 Hellfire missiles for pinpoint, devastating strikes, and their 30mm chain guns to literally tear the lightly armored hulls of the fast boats to shreds. Apart from speedboats, how does Iran take on the US Navy, with its massive aircraft carriers and advanced destroyers? Well, Iran's strategy isn't to face the US head-on. It is to rely on asymmetric warfare. Take this for example. These two civilian ships are sailing near an aircraft carrier. Everything looks completely normal. But then, with the press of a button, the shipping container doors opens up and out comes.
It's crazy. These motherfuckers stay using them shipping containers, nigga, and them hoes got guns in them. You be seeing these boats with all them goddamn shipping containers, man, them hoes could be missiles in them hoes, man.
But the self-made Iranian anti-ship missiles, which can still pack a punch.
Still trying to fight back, fight them boys back, though.
This is instantly followed by a swarm of low-flying drones and fast attack boats within the cargo ships, and not to forget the small midget submarines. These submarines can launch torpedoes at the same time. In quick succession, it can pass through the carrier's strike group defense system and even achieve 10% impact.
Wow.
They might not sink the carrier, but they can damage it enough to make the waters too dangerous for the US to operate in. So let's look at the 4 key tactics they would likely use. Tactic 1. First and perhaps most famous is the swarm. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Fourth Navy operates hundreds of small, fast attack craft armed with heavy machine guns, rockets, and anti-ship missiles. The tactic here is simple, but deadly. Instead of trying to fight a US destroyer one-on-one, which they would lose, they deploy dozens of small boats simultaneously from every direction. The goal is to overwhelm the US ship's defensive systems, like the phalanx, by presenting more targets than the ship can track and destroy at once. Moving to Tactic 2, mining the Strait. Next, we have the silent killer, mining the Strait of Hormuz. This is the world's most critical oil choke point. Iran maintains an inventory of thousands of naval mines, including smart mines that can listen for the specific acoustic signatures of enemy ships. In a conflict, Iran could use submarines, small boats, or even disguised civilian vessels to drop mines right into the shipping lanes. The goal here isn't just military, it's economic. This would deny the US Navy safe passage and immediately spike global oil prices, inflicting massive economic pain on the US and its allies. Here comes Tactic 3, the kill zone. Third is the geographic advantage, coastal missile batteries. The Iranian coastline is mountainous and rugged, perfect cover for mobile missile launchers. The regime also employs shoot-and-scoot tactics using truck-mounted cruise and ballistic missiles. They fire a missile and immediately move to a new hiding spot before the US can strike back. This effectively turns the Gulf into a kill zone, where US ships are under constant threat of fire from land with nowhere to hide. Tactic 4. We have the ambush threat, midget submarines. The Persian Gulf is actually quite shallow, which makes it difficult for massive US nuclear submarines to operate. However, it is perfect for Iran's fleet of diesel-electric mini-subs, like the Ghadar class. These small subs can sit silently on the seafloor, waiting for a target to pass overhead before firing torpedoes. It's a surprise ambush tactic designed to damage high-value assets, like carriers or destroyers, while remaining almost impossible to detect by sonar. These small but stealthy diesel-electric submarines designed for operations in the shallow waters of the Persian Gulf pose a significant threat to US aircraft carriers. The Ghadar-class submarines, which are difficult to detect due to their small size and low acoustic signature, could position themselves in strategic locations near key naval choke points, such as the Strait of Hormuz. Equipped with heavyweight torpedoes and capable of deploying naval mines, these submarines could launch surprise attacks on US aircraft carriers. By waiting in ambush near expected carrier movements, Ghadar-class submarines could fire a coordinated torpedo strike, targeting the hull and propulsion systems of US carriers. A successful torpedo strike on an aircraft carrier could disable its flight deck operations, significantly reducing the US Navy's ability to project air power in the region. Additionally, these submarines could lay underwater mines in critical sea lanes, forcing US warships into predetermined ambush zones where Iranian missile and drone attacks could follow up. Tactic 5. We can't ignore the aerial threat. This is drone warfare. Iran has invested heavily in becoming a drone superpower in the Middle East. In a conflict, they would use UAVs not just for surveillance, but as loitering munitions, essentially suicide drones. The tactic is to launch them in massive waves to crash into the sensitive radar dishes and flight decks of U.S. ships. The goal is to blind the fleet's sensors and halt flight operations, leaving the ships vulnerable to missile attacks. Let's look at Tactic 6. The U.S. fleet relies on ports in Bahrain and air cover from bases in Qatar to sustain the fight. Iran possesses the largest ballistic missile arsenal in the Middle East. Their strategy includes massive missile barrages targeting these static headquarters and logistical hubs. The goal isn't just to destroy buildings, but to deny the U.S. Navy the fuel, ammo, and command support it needs to stay in the fight. If the ships have nowhere to dock, they can't stay in the Gulf. If you're looking to upgrade your digital defense system, you need to check out this military-grade VPN. Think of Surfshark VPN. Military strategy for targeting U.S. air bases in the Middle East would likely rely on a coordinated, multi-domain approach. By combining its missile arsenal, drone capabilities, and proxy forces, Iran aims to overwhelm American defenses and inflict significant damage. Among the high-value targets, Iran would likely prioritize our Al Udeid air base in Qatar, naval support activity, NS at Bahrain, multiple U.S. military bases in Iraq, and Al Dhafra Air Base in the United Arab Emirates. This approach reflects Tehran's broader strategic objectives, deterring U.S. military intervention, retaliating decisively in the event of conflict, and asserting its influence across the region. One of the most probable targets in a direct confrontation is Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. As the largest U.S. military installation in the Middle East, it hosts around 8,000 American troops and serves as the regional headquarters for U.S. Central Command. The base plays a crucial role in supporting air operations across the region and is a central pillar of the U.S. military presence in the Gulf. To strike Al Udeid and similar bases, Iran could deploy ballistic missiles such as the Fateh-110, which has a range of about 300 kilometers, or the Qunan-1, capable of reaching up to 800 kilometers.
God damn.
If it uses a proximity fuse, it may detonate just above the surface, airburst, to maximize fragmentation and increase the affected area. Complete destruction of unarmored structures and lethal to unprotected personnel. Extreme overpressure, possibly 100 to 300 psi in this zone, will destroy hardened aircraft shelters, fuel tanks, and command posts if directly hit. Depending on where these missiles are launched from, they pose a credible threat to key U.S. installations across the Gulf. In Bahrain, the Naval Support Activity NS Base serves as the headquarters of the U.S. Naval Forces Central Command and the U.S. Fifth Fleet. With more than 9,000 American personnel stationed there, it is the only permanent U.S. naval shore base in the Middle East. Its port facilities are capable of accommodating aircraft carriers and amphibious ships, making it a vital maritime hub. Given NSA Bahrain's role, Iran may also target U.S. warships in port or operating in nearby waters. It possesses a highly developed arsenal of anti-ship cruise missiles, launched from coastal batteries or naval platforms, which can threaten U.S. naval superiority in the Persian Gulf. Iran may also exploit proxy forces in Yemen and pro-Iranian militias in Iraq to launch indirect attacks or stir instability within Bahrain itself. In Kuwait, the U.S. maintains a strong presence at Camp Arifshan and Ali Al Salem Air Base, which together host around 13,500 troops as of 2021.
Man.
These facilities act as key operational and logistical hubs, particularly for U.S. missions in Iraq and the broader Gulf region. They also use the Soviet-era anti-ship missiles with solid booster and liquid fuel attached to it, produced during the Cold War, is employed for the attacking mission. When launched, the first stage booster fires off for 2 to 3 seconds, after which the second stage takes off. It searches for a target using analog radar. When locked and ready, it can destroy a ship using a hollow-shaped charged warhead. This has the potential to either destroy or sink a cargo ship if it hits at the right angle.
That boy. Boom.
Scenario 2.
That boy swerved,
this involves the use of a Soviet-era missile that was re-engineered by the Iranians, converting it into an anti-ship missile. The converted SA-2 missile can be launched from within 45 kilometers or 28 miles from the target. Take, for example, the U.S. destroyer sailing through the Red Sea. When fired, they can travel at a speed of Mach 3.5. These actions create a psychological impact and disrupt trade routes. We make original videos from scratch and animated by humans, so please subscribe.
Hey, that was hard right there, bro. So they took that bitch over. You know, they go to swarming you, and with all them ships and trying to knock your senses out, man. Knock your senses out because them ships got boy that shit. Them things got jammers, nigga. They can fuck up your ears if you got headsets on. They say that stealth, you know that $1 billion stealth that they got. Now they said when it rides through and you do get the lock on the sensor on it, bro, it jams it up so the frequency is so loud that they have to chunk their headphones. Now that's some crazy shit, dog. Like that's some crazy shit, man. But we're gonna jump into this real fast because I wanna see what he talking about. This nigga was talking aggressive than a mug last night. Then we gonna well, maybe no. Go and do the SBA. Then we gonna go to see what they talking about on the SBA is on you niggas throats. Like the SBA is on you niggas throats because y'all don't wanna. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get PPP loans and y'all thought y'all was gonna go on vacations and eat crab legs and then half y'all stupid motherfuckers ain't even started a business with that shit. Man, my girl was talking about, nigga, if we got that money, we definitely going straight to the business place to get us a business, some type of business. You get what I'm saying? Y'all motherfuckers just went on vacations and buying chains and all that dumbass shit. Man, y'all stupid as fuck. And people gonna serve y'all ass up, man. Tell you, we done heard it. We done heard the little bird talking, the streets talking.
Now that took out PPP loans. So in 2020, everybody was doing the PPP. My cousin did it, my brother did it, then my best friend did it.
Hold on,
All right, so it looks like the government is
hold on,
did it. Then my best.
hold on, y'all. Let me get y'all right. Damn, bitch. Fuck, man. Okay. Fuck, get y'all on this shit.
Best friend did it. All right, so it looks like the government is doubling back. They're cracking down on everybody who took out fraudulent PPP loans during the height of the pandemic. And it's being reported that the SBA, or the Small Business Administration, has sent over 562,000 suspected fraudulent loans to the Treasury Department and the DOJ. The total amount of the loans were $22 billion. All right, we got people all over.
Hey, $22 billion. Nigga, that nigga handed the shit on me. That nigga handed it over to the Treasury, y'all. Hey, he handed it over to the Treasury, y'all. So all these niggas, these big dick scammers and shit. Yeah, hey, it look good right there. Y'all on top right now. Make sure you
the internet talking about this news. Like this guy, he said PPP fraud warrants went out Friday. They began picking people up this week. I'm glad I never got one. All right, now we've seen over the years the government kind of crack down on these PPP fraud loans that were handed out, but 562,000 people is crazy work. Now, these loans, they were created, like I said, during the pandemic to help businesses keep paying their employees when lockdowns and restrictions were hurting these small businesses' revenues. The idea was simple. It was businesses could borrow money from a government-backed program, and if they used it for approved expenses, the loan could be forgiven. This money was meant to be used towards a few simple things: payroll and employee wages, rent, utilities,
of these mortgage interest and other little business related costs. However, the government made it so easy for people to get these loans that we had tons of people applying for these loans and receiving these loans, even though they didn't own any small business. So everybody that was out here flexing on me with their BBLs and Gucci belts, it looks like your time has come.
Half the BBLs was bought with PPP loans too, dog.
I was trying to tell people all them years ago when they was calling me broke with a little $20,000 check. That shit was temporary and nobody wanted to hear it. I know people that applied for these loans and met absolutely none of the requirements that were needed. And there were a bunch of requirements needed for people to technically get these loans.
$284 billion in stimulus money is now up for grabs, so pay attention if you are a small business owner. You can start applying for a PPP loan today if you are a first-time PPP borrower or small business applying through a community financial institution. Now, these types of banks usually provide funding to underserved communities. Then on Wednesday, second draw PPP loan applications will be accepted for small businesses applying again through those community financial institutions. The SBA says a few days later, applications for all other small businesses looking for a second draw of the PPP will be accepted. Yes, you can get another PPP loan if you already received one in the past for your business. But this time around, there are some...
Hey, they sent y'all niggas to go double dip. That's...
different rules. To qualify, you must have 300 employees or less. You must prove that you've had a 25% reduction in gross receipts between comparable quarters in 2019 and 2020. And just like before, if you follow the rules, these loans can be forgiven. This is all part of the stimulus package that was passed back in December. And it also includes a lot of tax deductions that will impact your business. All the rules and applications are available on SBA.gov, and the deadline to apply is March 31st.
All right, now if you...
we're going to leave that there, man. We're going to leave that there. So, yeah. Yeah, man. Y'all in massive trouble. No, this ain't self-made saying you should go to jail for that. But this is self-made saying that, bitch, you should have got up and worked for that. That's what I'm saying, bitch. You're stupid. You went and got BBLs and crab legs and motherfucking vacations with that shit instead of starting a business so you could be up. Man, there ain't no way I'd have got my girl that got 20,000. I got 20,000. We broke right now. And y'all still broke. Man, get the fuck out of here, dog. You gotta be losing all your damn marbles to just spend some money like that, bro. Like, hey, I would be laughing. Hey, I would be laughing because it's a bunch of content creators on this bitch right now. That's some of y'all favorite content creators that got that shit, nigga. So, you know, all these big bank motherfuckers and man, y'all ain't big bank shit, nigga. Y'all motherfuckers was leeching and roaching, nigga. Y'all was roaching then and y'all roaching now. Just pray that y'all paid that shit out, dog. Pray that y'all paid that shit out, dog, because, man, them people ain't going.
Yeah, look, his words, they have, quote, achieved the objectives of that operation. And it was significant because it's in the context of this question about what happens to Iran's nuclear material. You know, it's still buried far underground. That was one of the objectives of the operation. You know, one of those four objectives was to ensure that Iran never obtained a nuclear weapon. By Rubio's own admission, they are still in negotiations about the nuclear program. And so it's hard to see how he can claim that those objectives have been achieved, given that before the war began, they were in talks about the nuclear program. Now that the war is over, they are still in talks about the nuclear program. And so it's a very curious comment from him and does lead to the question of what happens if the president decides that he needs to start bombing again, if he thinks that Iran has broken the ceasefire, if he thinks that the diplomacy has reached a dead end. He seems to be sort of ruling that out, which I think is much further than we've heard any official go so far.
It all begs the question, where are we tonight? It's understanding what's likely to be next, because if this is a wait and see, a pressurization campaign, a pressure campaign in a way, if you will, that could take a lot longer because Iran seems to be in it for the long haul as well.
And I think it's also evident that the president doesn't have a lot of time. You know, he is under political pressures that don't exist inside of Iran, whether it's rising price of gas, whether it's the unpopularity just generally of this conflict. The president is operating on a timetable that is so vastly different from what the Iranians have in the past demonstrated they're willing to endure when it comes to these negotiations. And so it is an open question of where exactly that leaves us. The other, I think, time pressure, and this came up again and again in this briefing, is the president's trip to China next week. Remember, he did not want to go to Beijing while this war was underway. That's why he delayed it from the beginning of April until now, under the expectation that this would all be resolved by now. Marco Rubio seemed to shrug all of that off, saying that, yes, this would be a topic of conversation with Xi Jinping. But I think it's clear that the president does not want to go into this and have to explain to President Xi why the cost of gas, the cost of fertilizer, all of these things that China relies upon that go through the Strait of Hormuz are now higher. That's going to be a very awkward conversation, I think, when he shows up in Beijing next week.
A last quick question. I mean, no reporter was told that you're a failed hack or that you are, useless, and that it must be. It's sort of back to normal. Do we know how they're going to?
Story of the oil trader. I'm not sure it's in their heads tonight because, first of all, very unceremoniously, the war is over. The war is over. They launch what could be an important thing, which is to try to an operation to try to get the Strait of Hormuz open. And then Iran starts firing at their regional neighbors, and then suddenly that operation is also over after Trump says he got a request from Pakistan and other countries that he wouldn't name, asking him to stop the operation. So it kind of seems like Iran successfully pressured Trump to back down.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like to me.
No. I mean, the other alternative view is there's all kinds of conversations going on with Pakistan and maybe even with China.
Shit. He ain't punked them into doing nothing, nigga.
Beijing on Wednesday with Iran's foreign minister. I've been wondering when the Chinese are going to show up to Iran and say, okay, all right, we have to settle this now because we need our oil.
There's a similar one last month that was vetoed by China and Russia. You spoke to the Russian foreign minister. Do you have an assurance that Russia will be on board with this now?
Well, we don't know. Look, I mean, everyone wouldn't want to see this vetoed again, and then we've made some slight adjustments to the language, but I don't know if it'll avoid a veto or not, but the language isn't very complicated. And I think it's a real test for the UN, right? As a function, as something that functions that can solve global problems. What is the purpose of the UN? The UN was supposed to be a place where you could peacefully resolve global conflict. Right now, you have a country who is unlawfully, criminally, and illegally taking possession of an international waterway and blowing up commercial vessels and putting mines in the water. I don't know if people appreciate like how outrageous this is, how unacceptable it is that any country would fire and try to sink commercial vessels or put mines in the water. Both of these things are illegal.
It's their shit, nigga. It's their shit. Y'all just want to go just take, nigga. It's their shit, nigga. You follow the rules, you get through. Till then, you don't. Bro, y'all make rules for them. And y'all make rules for them and y'all don't give them no justice for the rules. Man, we don't want to hear y'all crying about that shit.
And so we're going to take it to the UN and we're going to give it another chance to be a forum in which we're not even asking people like commit troops to the region and help blow up the Iranian boats. All we're asking them to do is to condemn it, to call on Iran to stop blowing ships, to remove these mines, and to allow humanitarian relief to come through because there's humanitarian aid that's trapped. That's it. It's a very modest request.
Bro, it's a modest request from somebody who lies. For somebody who's looking like if you disagree with them, and you don't make a deal, they're going to take over your country. You can't be mad at them if they don't trust our words. Bro, that nigga Trump been lying this whole war.
And if you're telling me that the international community and hundreds of countries cannot rally behind that, then I don't know what the utility of the UN system is, if it can't even solve something as straightforward as that. And I think to both the Chinese and the Russians, I would argue and have argued that it is in their interest for that resolution to pass and for pressure to be brought on Iran, because it is in their interest not to see international waterways, including the Straits of Hormuz.
Or is it's in their interest because you want to, if they don't follow suit, you're going to go try to go to war with them too? If you like trying to threaten them or something, I hope that wasn't a threat that you was trying to put out there. Man, these people gone crazy.
Be closed down and cause economic chaos to dozens and dozens of countries around the world. Back row, yellow tie.
He just kind of aggressive to me.
CBN News, you've had a deep faith for God and country. At the end of the day, with all that you've been involved in,
keep going.
you've been extremely busy,
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
as we all know.
See, that's what they
I gotta
want.
ask you,
They
what
want
is
you
your
to
hope
flatter
for
them.
America?
They want you to flatter them, bro, for doing nothing, for causing ruckus. They want you to sit up and flatter them and make them feel high and mighty for sending our kids to war and shit. Nigga, you better sit your stupid ass down somewhere, bro.
At a time such as this.
My hope for America?
And
It's
how
the
do
same
you
as always
personally
been.
deal with
Same
that?
red tie,
Yeah, look,
same blue
my hope for
suit.
America is what it's always been. I think it's the hope I hope we all share. We want it to continue to be the place where anyone from anywhere can achieve anything. Where you're not limited by the circumstances of your birth, by the color of your skin, by your ethnicity, but frankly, it's a place where you are able to overcome challenges and achieve your full potential. I think that should be the goal of every country in the world, frankly. But I think in the U.S., we're not perfect. Our history is not one of perfection, but it's still better than anybody else's history. And ours is a story of perpetual improvement. Each generation has left the next generation of Americans freer, more prosperous, safer, and that is our goal as well. But it is a unique and exceptional country, and as we come upon this 250-year anniversary, I think we have a lot to learn and be proud of in our history. It is one of perpetual and continuous improvement, where each generation has done its part to bring us closer to fulfilling the vision that the founders of this country had upon its founding.
You wrote that down. You wrote that down.
I have time for two more questions.
Yeah, they coming for your bitch ass now, nigga. Yeah, they gonna come for you.
Right there.
Yes.
No, that lady, no, the one right next to you.
Yes, they are.
No, the pink. I'm
These
sorry,
people
but I
are.
pointed at her.
And turn this
I need to
shit
get a
to a
laser
fucking
pointer. Now you in the
shit
pink
show.
jacket, the lady right there. Thank you.
Okay. I have a question on Iran-China relations.
Okay.
What's your reaction to Iranian foreign minister visit to China? Also, Beijing instructed its firms to ignore U.S. sanctions. Could you also address that?
I'll direct you to Treasury on that front. There are options that we have. If you ignore our sanctions, you're going to face secondary sanctions. And I don't have an announcement for you on that today, but we don't do these things, for symbolic purposes. On the first point about the visit, it's fine. I hope the Chinese tell him what he needs to be told, and that is that what you are doing in the Straits is causing you to be globally isolated. You're the bad guy in this. You guys should not be blowing up ships. You should not be putting mines. You should not be trying to hold hostage the global economy. I hope the Chinese bring, whether it's done privately, but I hope it's done directly, that's the message they deliver to them. As I outlined earlier today, China is an export-driven economy. Okay, I'm not here to speak on behalf of what's in the best interest of China, but it's obvious. China is an export-driven economy. That means they depend on other countries to buy from them.
Yeah.
Well, you can't buy from them if you can't ship it there, and you can't buy from them if your economy is being destroyed by what Iran is doing. So it is in China's interest that Iran stop closing the straits. It's harming China as well. The gentleman in the red tie, right there.
Damn, China already ready for this shit. Nigga, they got stupid. I read the story on that already.
Another question about the China-Iran relationship. You said at the beginning of your comments at the top that every single financial situation will be targeted. Does that include Chinese banks? Would the president?
We're going to enforce our sanctions. I don't have an announcement for you. That will have to come from Treasury. But we have sanctions in place, and sanctions don't mean anything unless you're going to do something about them. So I think that's been clear. I think that the Treasury will follow up with any specific announcements. Suffice it to say, we're serious about our sanctions. Then a cost needs to be imposed on Iran for what they are doing. Otherwise, if they get away with this, guys. If they get away with pulling this thing off without paying a price for it and backing down, you're going to see multiple places around the world where other countries are going to be tempted to do the same. This is unacceptable. Again, I want to reiterate the point. We keep arguing back and forth about the war and the shooting and this and that and the other. These guys are shut down an international waterway. The Straits of Hormuz do not belong to Iran. They don't have a right to shut it down and blow up ships and lay mines. And that's what they've done.
Well,
that needs to be addressed. Otherwise, and it cannot be normalized under no circumstances until we live in a world where we accept, okay, this is normal. You have to coordinate with Iran. You have.
Wait. We should live in the world that is normal. Bro, y'all just took loads of oil from that other country. Just took loads of oil. So when somebody go to defending their shit or what the way that they want to defend it, and it ain't easy where y'all can just unlock the door and walk in and take their president, y'all mad. Man, y'all crazy, dog. Them people guys not moving their minds. Y'all, they don't trust Trump. They don't trust you. You don't know what you're talking about. You want other countries to do shit that y'all won't do. Come on, man. Get the fuck out of here, dog.
To pay them a toll in order to go through the Straits of Hormuz. Not only is that unacceptable in the Straits, you're creating a precedent that could be repeated in multiple other places around the world. The whole world should join us in this condemnation.
Why?
And the whole world should join us in doing something about it.
Why should we join in? Why should we help you join in on something that Trump started? Why should I'm just thinking if I'm another country. Why the fuck should we help you and you started this shit? Like that, like help me fight now, and I started this shit. Like, come on, bro, that shit is
just
not
be
gonna
us.
happen.
We're hoping to get countries. We're going to give them a chance to do something about it in the United Nations.
We hoping, good hopes, man. That's not gonna happen, bro. That's why y'all not understanding. Do y'all see all the questions? Even when Trump talking, bro, they don't be asking all these questions. Everybody don't be in a rush to ask him all these questions like this, man. It's because this guy right here is. I don't know where he getting these answers from.
That lady in the white, right there in the white.
They want to get on his ass. But they talking over each other and everything, trying to get at this guy, trying to troll this guy, man. I'm telling you. This don't make sense, dog.
Two more, and then I gotta go. Yeah, go ahead. Iran has shown what? Okay.
Iran has shown that it's been able to withstand a lot of pressure. And yesterday, President Trump has said that they may run out of oil storage in 2 weeks. Do you believe that that will be the thing that gets them to the table to give up their nuclear ambitions? And if not, what will be that thing?
Well, look, they're suffering devastating damage to their economy. You're right, but it's not that they're able to withstand pressure. It's that they don't care that their people are suffering. You understand, right? There's a difference between we can withstand pressure and we actually don't care. Now, I think there are people in their system that care more than others. You know, some of the elected people that you see, some of the people you see on television with the suits on, you know, those guys care because they know at the end of the day they have to live in the reality. And then you have an other element of their government, the clerics, the IRGC types, who probably are more immune to that and care less. They're more interested in regime survival at all costs. But ultimately, the pressure points are what they are.
They divided now than they were before because the administration has said that the Iranian regime is divided, making it very challenging.
Well, it's been challenging to deal with them diplomatically because, for example, an offer will be made and then it takes 5 or 6 days to get a response because you have to get it through the whole system. They have to find the supreme leader wherever he hides. They got to get him to sign off, and that's their system. Their system has always been multi-layered in this way. It's obviously become more complex because of the damage they suffered during the war. But look, suffice it to say, Iran has to pay a price. They're not going to change their position out of the kindness of their heart, and that all of us have been supporting. That's the route he prefers. That is so far not the route that Iran has chosen. And so the result has been that the United States has to do something about the fact that we're the only nation on earth that can do anything to open up a lane within the Straits of Hormuz to get product and to rescue these people that are trapped in there. And that's what we're undergoing now. What that may lead to in the future is speculative.
I do realize that that they don't got no planes to go in and out the country. They don't got no ships to go in and out the country. Nigga, it's people that was over there just visiting and can't get out that bitch. That's crazy, boo.
And speculate about what it would take or what it would do. But look, the message to Iran, these guys are facing, they are facing real catastrophic destruction to their economy, generational destruction to their economy, generational destruction to the wealth of their country, imposed on themselves by the actions that they're taking. They should check themselves before they wreck themselves in the direction that they're going.
Believe that these votes coming up in Congress are a moot point then?
Look, guys, I love talking about this topic. It's about the War Powers Act. Yeah. Okay, I love it. I was hoping somebody would ask. All right, hold on. No, boy, you don't let me answer. I got to answer the question.
Look how rude he is, fool. That nigga is rude as fuck. They just be like, let people be rude, dog. Now, hold on, let me answer the question. God damn. You shouldn't have said what you said and they wouldn't have been on your ass like that, nigga. You niggas, boy. We just hope that they do this. Man, listen, dog. Them people ain't got to do shit, dog. But stay black and die, dog. And they don't trust Trump. So y'all hopes, keep hoping. My nigga, I had made a thumbnail where Trump said that he was signing the thing, bro. I made a thumbnail 2 days ago say that Trump was signing the thing. Why it ain't signed now? Man, them people bullshit. That nigga Trump be lying, dog. I'm telling y'all, dog. He be lying, dog. Man, I'm gone, man, after this, man. Been a good show, man. Hell of a show. I'm out of here, man, after this, dog. Like, got shit to take care of this morning, man. Good people waiting on me, man. Salute to all, man. Salute to all, man. Free that boy Durkee out, man. It's one of my favorite songs. Free that boy Durkee out, man. I hope y'all have a prosperous morning, man. One of my favorite songs. I can't see your cell phone. I promote you 1,000 times, just you ain't saying nothing. And I told all your people, telling you no damn brother. You can play when you don't get bitch, you get me first. You never so nice, how your sentence in the studio, man. Please don't take the this just put your opinion first. Before I ever tell be the real first. Before I ever tell a lie, give the real dirt. So when you was free, you had the real day. Everything that you me passing out of straight shirt. And the suave man, he take 23 years, he surviving off a JK. And you ain't gonna send him. That's what's on the stage. Enjoy the king. I done made so much time for my gun case. If you knew my city, my southern states. Oh my God, it's in my mom face. It's the get up out of me, get out of my face. You my friend, it's a difference. No tune to the city of the shit. No do, so why you telling me? I know things that you said that shit, I just turn up. Throw up my damn time, you scratch it off the bitch. Yeah, only some guys that I get in the city. Now that you know, y'all hear them talking shit about me. So sometimes it'll be too big to be to forget this. Fuck what the other side I need, can forget about it. And when it's a war inside my city, they kill anybody. They just came to party. Decided to play with me, my shorties are saying about it. Don't they shit out here? Go ready about it. I know who's on, we close on. Finish any great in the way, being honest. Free all my dogs who locked up. Free all my dogs who locked up. Free all my niggas who locked up. Free all my brothers who locked up. Free all the kids who locked up.